Everyone, I'm back with some brand new stories to share with you. And the first story I have is called The Cool Bean. And it's by Jory John and Pete Oswald. The Cool Bean. Watch out! Here come the cool beans. And you see them? 1, 2, 3. Those are the cool beans. Oh, yeah. Check out how they move. Look at the way they swagger. Notice their sunglasses. So they're really cool. They walk really cool. They have the cool sunglasses going on. They're the cool beans. Check them out. You see them in these illustrations? The cool beans are known all over school, from house to house, across town, beyond county lines. And those are the cool beans. In the olden days, last year, we were all one big pot of beans. We were a mixed bag, but somehow it worked. You see? All the beans are together. Yep, those were the good old days. But then we stopped seeing each other. And that's just how it is sometimes. You spend less time together, even though you're not totally sure why. Has it ever happened? You have friends and you play together all the time, and then all of a sudden you just stop playing with each other? Well, that's kind of what happened to them. They were together all the time, and then they just stopped playing together. And you see, he used to be friends with all of them, and now he kind of just watches them. And the cool beans are over here. I watched as the beans I knew so well. The beans from my own pod became the cool beans. Oh, they were so cool. And one of them could play the guitar. So cool. And one of them could draw the best superheroes. So cool. And one of them could jump higher than any bean that I've ever known. So cool. You see that? Me? Well, I mostly stayed the same. Sure, I made small changes. I wore sunglasses. See, he has sunglasses on. And I slicked my hair back. See, he's trying to make his hair look really cool. And I strutted around. I swaggered. Oh no, see, he hit a rock and then he slipped on the banana. So he's trying to be like the cool beans. I was still picked last for everything. Has that ever happened to you? Get picked last? And my clothes, they never seem to fit. And when I laughed, I snorted. I went. I walked into stuff. He's a little bit clumsy. That happens to me sometimes. I fall and walk into things. That's what happens to him. So he's trying to be cool, but kind of not so much. I'm an uncool bean for sure. I started thinking myself as just a common bean with no special skills. I couldn't compete, so I didn't even try. He's not even trying because he feels like he just can't do it. How do you think that kind of makes him feel? Yeah, probably a little sad. I'll never be a cool bean. It seemed like there were two types of beans in the world. There were the cool beans, and these are the cool beans, and the beans like me, because he's kind of clumsy and he doesn't get picked first. He gets picked last, and he's not really good at things. And see, he kind of feels a little sad, right? Poor Bean. The days all blended together. I lived my life and things were just okay. I took tests and I ate lunches and I mostly kept to myself. So he kind of just hangs out by himself in school. He just does what he's supposed to do. And here's the cool beans over here. And the cool beans just continue to being cool. I mean, sure, I miss them a bit. You remember we talked about that in the beginning of the story, that they were all in the same pod together and then they kind of drifted apart. Well, that's kind of how he feels. He's like, I'm all by myself and the cool beans are over here. But it's not like I'm going to say anything. I felt like all the coolness had got in the way of our friendship. And that's how it went until one day I was in the cafeteria and I dropped my lunch on my loafers. Loafers are his shoes. And he says, oh no, not again. So he dropped his lunch all over his loafers, all over his shoes. And he's like, oh no. But then something miraculous happened. Out of nowhere, one of the cool beans helped me clean it up. He didn't even say anything. He just gave me a nod and that was it. Wasn't that nice? He came over and he cleaned it up for him. That was really nice. And later, I was out on the playground and I tripped and I scraped my knee and maybe cried a little bit. And everybody saw it. See, he fell down, he was crying and he scraped his knee. But then another one of the cool beans came to my side. And without a word, he dusted me off and he helped me. Wasn't that nice of him too? He saw that he got hurt and he fell down and he helped him. So that was really nice. And that afternoon, I was sitting in class. I wasn't really paying attention. I didn't notice, but our teacher had called on me and everybody stared. And I sat there in silence and nobody said anything. So he's in his class and he didn't pay attention and a teacher called on him and he doesn't know what to do. And then everybody was laughing at me. And that was it. After today, I was officially a has-been, right? How do you think he's feeling? The teacher called on him. He wasn't paying attention. Now everybody's laughing at him. But then one of the cool beans stood up and came over to me and everybody watched. So there's a cool bean and a cool bean's going over to him. She leaned in close and she said, hey, the teacher asked you to read from page 32. And then she gave me a quick wink and went back to her seat. So the cool bean, what did the cool bean do? Right, the cool bean helped him and told him what the teacher said. Wasn't that nice? It was a small gesture, sure, but it was also everything. Wasn't it nice? Because he didn't know what to do. And so the cool bean came over and helped him. So that was pretty nice. I walked home with a goofy smile on my face. I smiled all the way through dinner. And that day made all the difference. It was a day that could have been really bad if not for the kindness of a few beans. It gave me a shred of confidence, and that shred of confidence had continued to grow. So what could have been a terrible day, remember he fell, that he wasn't paying attention in class and the teacher called him in, he didn't know what to do, and he spilled his lunch all over. This could have been like the worst day ever, but because the cool beans came over and helped him, it wasn't such a bad day, and it gave him a little bit of confidence even. Somebody had my back. So he knows that the cool beans were really nice and that if he needed something that they would help him. And a few somebodies at after that, I started hanging out with the cool beans again. Hey, have you been? Get it? How you been? Not all the time. See, sometimes he's just riding the bike by himself. But sometimes we ate lunch together. And after school, we played together. And on weekends, we hung out together. See, they went to the movies. So now they're all friends again. Isn't that nice? And throughout all of this, I realized that it's not about how you look or any of the other silly stuff, right? It doesn't matter if you're wearing sunglasses. Do you need sunglasses to be cool? No, it doesn't matter how you look. It's not a look. It's about a wink or a nod or a smile. Sometimes if you just go up to somebody and you just smile at them or you just wave at them, it can make their whole day and make them feel better. You should try it. One day, just go up to somebody, smile at them, wave at them, just say hi. Just little gestures like that can make somebody's whole day. It's about dusting somebody off, helping them up again, and pointing them in the right direction, right? If somebody falls down, to help them. If they drop their books or their papers, just picking up their books and papers, that's such a nice thing to do. If somebody's looking for something and they can't find it, maybe if you try to help them, just little acts of kindness, small acts of kindness can make somebody's life so much better. So you should try that. Try little small acts of kindness. You need a hand. Now he's returning it. That's called paying it back. So everybody was being nice to him and helped him through his really bad day. So another bean fell and he's helping him up. Isn't that nice? Now that is cool. And that was the cool bean. So just small acts of kindness can really mean a lot. And the next book I have is called Pete the Cat Plays Hide and Seek. Pete and the gang love to play hide and seek. And who's the fastest seeker? Cool Cat Pete. Do you like to play hide and seek? Yeah, they love to play hide and seek. And Pete the cat, he's very good at hide and seek. Since Pete is it, he covers both of his eyes. Then he counts to 10. And what does everybody else do? Right, everybody else hides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then he opens up his eyes and he looks for his friends. Ready or not, here I come. Pete looks everywhere. He runs to see. He quickly thinks, where could he be? Groovy. He spots Gus hiding behind a tree. There's Gus. He was hiding behind that tree. But it is not Gus at all. Oh, no, it wasn't Gus. What is it? It's a mailbox. That's so silly. It was just a mailbox hiding behind a tree. It looked like Gus, right? The platypus. Ready or not, Pete is it still. He still has to find all his friends. It's all groovy because Pete never quits. He doesn't give up. So even though he couldn't find everybody, he's still gonna try. Pete keeps on looking. Pete runs to see. Pete quickly thinks, where can alligator be? Out of sight, dynamite. He spots alligator on the bus to the right. Do you think that's alligator up there? Let's see. But that's not alligator. Pete wants to fuss. It's just Bob's surfboard sitting on the bus. It was the surfboard. That was an alligator. Ready or not, Pete is still it, right? He's still it. He didn't find his friends. It's all groovy because Pete he never what? Right, he never quits. Pete keeps on searching. Pete runs to see. Pete quickly thinks, where could Turtle and Squirrel be? No doubt, far out. There's Turtle and Squirrel at the playground, he shouts. But it isn't Turtle at all. Pete starts to groan. It turns out to be a polka dot stone. So it looked like Turtle, but it's just a polka dot stone. Oh man, Pete says, this wasn't the plan. That's not Squirrel. It's just a watering can. See, it kind of looks like Squirrel a little bit, but that's not Squirrel. He's like, oh, I can't find any of my friends. Everything is looking like them, but it's not really them. Ready or not, Pete is still it. It's all groovy because Pete never, what? Yeah, Pete never quits. Pete takes one last look. Pete runs to see. Pete thinks quicker. Where could Grumpy Toad be? Whoa, too cool. He spots Grumpy Toad hiding by the pool. Let's see, is it Grumpy Toad? But that isn't Grumpy Toad. Pete starts to sigh. Why is Granny's armchair sitting poolside? He thought that was Grumpy Toad, but it's the chair. He's like, oh no. Hold on. Suddenly, Pete stops. Is hide and seek really fun? What if he keeps trying and he still can't find anyone? So he's like, what if I keep playing hide and seek and I don't find anybody? This time, Pete doesn't rush. He takes a slow, deep breath. He goes, and then he opens his eyes and he looks around again. So this time, he's going to do it slow. He's going to take his time and he's going to really try to find everyone. There's Grumpy. There's Squirrel. There's Turtle, Alligator, and Gus. The whole gang says, yay, Pete, you found all of us. Let's see if we see everybody. Look, there's Grumpy Toad. There's Alligator. There's Gus. There's Turtle. There's Squirrel. I think we got everybody. So he found everyone. See, things aren't always as they first appear. If you take a deep breath, things become clear, right? Let's say you're getting really stressed about something. Slow down. Take a deep breath. Sometimes it helps if you count to 10. So slow down. Take a deep breath. And then maybe you can do it. That goes for school too. Like if something's getting too hard in school, maybe slow down, take a deep breath, and you could do it. Goes for anything. If you're playing a sport, playing an instrument, is something you have to do, a game, just take a deep breath and slow it down. He's happy he took his time because Pete's favorite part of hide and seek, when he gets to what? Now, what does Pete get to do? Right, now it's his turn to hide. And that was Pete the cat plays hide and seek. Thank you, everyone. I hope you love the stories. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks, everyone.